In the world of thoroughbred horse racing, few stories evoke both admiration and heartbreak as profoundly as that of Juan Saiz. Born in 1996 and taken from the world in 2014 at the tender age of 17, Saez's story is a stunning testament to precocious talent and the harsh realities of one of the most dangerous sports in the world. In just one rookie year, the young Panamanian jockey had risen from obscurity to stardom, tallying 89 victories and capturing the imagination of racing fans across the United States. But on October 14, 2014, during a race at Indiana Grand Racing and Casino, a sudden on-track incident snuffed out that bright light. Riding Montecore, Saez's mount clipped heels with another horse, sending the teenager crashing to the ground. A trailing horse could not avoid him. He was trampled. The resulting traumatic brain injuries would prove fatal. Saez passed away. The following day, leaving behind a grieving family, a mourning industry, and a haunting reminder of how dangerous this high-speed sport truly is. This article aims to honor the legacy, explore the rise, and mourn the tragic end of Juan Saiz. His life was short, but his impact remains unforgettable, a cautionary tale and a poignant tribute to youthful ambition and the price that sometimes comes with chasing glory. Juan Saiz was born in 1996 in Panama, a country known for producing world-class jockeys. In fact, Panama's Laffit Pincay Jr., one of the greatest jockeys in racing history, was once a mentor figure for aspiring young riders like Juan. The country boasts the Laffit Pincay Jockey Training Academy, which has become a pipeline of elite riders to North America. Saez attended this prestigious institution, training alongside some of the most promising young riders in Central America. Juan wasn't alone in his equestrian pursuits. His older brother, Luis Saez, had already carved a name for himself as a rising star in the American racing circuit. Luis's own journey inspired Juan, who idolized his brother and longed to join him in the U.S., competing against the best. Racing was a family affair for the Saez brothers, driven not just by ambition, but by legacy, identity, and a shared dream. The instructors at the Jockey Academy quickly recognized Juan's raw talent. He had an intuitive sense of balance, a deep empathy for horses, and a fierce competitive drive. He was described as fearless, sharp, and unusually mature for his age. It was only a matter of time before he sought bigger stages and faster tracks. In 2014, Juan Saiz made the leap to American racing. Still only 17 years old, he began competing on circuits in Kentucky and Indiana, often riding in lower-tier meets but rapidly building a name for himself. Trainers were astonished at his poise and professionalism, traits rarely seen in someone so new to the brutal tempo of American thoroughbred racing. In just a few months, he had earned a staggering 89 wins and over $2 million in purse earnings, a feat that made him one of the most promising apprentice jockeys in recent memory. Analysts spoke of him as a sure thing, a future star who would undoubtedly become a regular face at major races like the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness Stakes, and the Belmont observers noted that Juan possessed a special relationship with horses. He was gentle in his handling, yet aggressive in his races, with a tactical mind that allowed him to maneuver through crowded fields with veteran-like savvy. He didn't panic in tight spaces and showed incredible maturity in making split-second decisions under pressure. His youth was seen not as a liability but as an asset, a fearless advantage. It was not just his riding that won hearts. Juan Saiz was known to be warm, polite, and fiercely focused. Trainers, jockeys, and fans quickly came to admire his humility and work ethic. As his brother Luis watched him rise, he reportedly said, "He's going to be better than me." It wasn't a comment made out of brotherly pride. It was an assessment echoed by many in the industry. October 14, 2014, began like any other race day at Indiana Grand Racing and Casino in Shelbyville, Indiana. The air was crisp, the track fast, and the grandstands dotted with casual fans and devoted punters alike. For Juan, it was just another race, another chance to build on an already dazzling rookie season. He was aboard Montecore, a horse trained by Wayne Rice, a seasoned trainer who had quickly grown to trust the young jockey. As the race began, everything seemed routine. But in horse racing, fractions of seconds can mean the difference between glory and disaster. As the horses thundered down the stretch, Montecore clipped heels with another horse, possibly brushing into a tight space in the pack. In a sport where speeds exceed 40 miles per hour, such an event is catastrophic. Juan was thrown violently from his mount and landed hard on the track. Before he could move or crawl to safety, a trailing horse collided with him. Track medics rushed onto the scene. He was transported to Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis in critical condition. Despite the best efforts of trauma surgeons and neurologists, the injuries to his brain were irreparable. He never regained consciousness. On October 15th, Juan Saiz was pronounced dead, his family by his side. The news of Juan Saiz's death sent shockwaves through the racing world. In an industry familiar with danger, his loss hit differently, not just because of the tragedy itself, but because of who he was. A child prodigy, a smiling, soft-spoken boy whose future seemed limitless. At racetracks around the country, jockeys wore black armbands. Trainers and announcers offered public condolences. The Jockeys Guild released a statement mourning one of the brightest young talents we have seen in years. On social media, the outpouring of grief was overwhelming. Even racing fans who had never met Juan or seen him ride felt the sting of his loss. His brother Luis, devastated, withdrew from his scheduled mounts for several days. At Gulfstream Park, Belmont, Churchill Downs, and Santa Anita, jockeys and trainers held moments of silence. Tributes came from far and wide. Hall of Fame jockeys remembered their own dangerous spills and near misses, and many reflected on how fragile life is in their line of work. His funeral in Panama was attended by hundreds. As his body was returned to his home country, it was met by members of the Panamanian racing community who honored him as a national treasure taken far too soon. Juan's death sparked a renewed conversation about the dangers inherent in horse racing. It is one of the most perilous professional sports in the world. Jockeys, despite weighing 110 to 120 pounds, are tasked with controlling 200-pound animals moving at breakneck speeds, often in tightly packed groups. Clipping heels, sudden shifts in weight, or a spooked horse can all lead to catastrophic accidents. Helmets and protective vests are mandatory, but they can only do so much when a jockey is thrown into the path of trailing horses. The statistics are grim. Jockeys suffer more injuries per capita than players in football or hockey. Fatal injuries, though rare, are not unheard of. In the United States alone, dozens of jockeys have died over the past several decades due to racing accidents. What made Juan's case so harrowing was not just the incident itself, but the age at which it occurred. At 17, he was still a minor by many legal standards, an age when most American teenagers are just learning to drive. His death brought up uncomfortable questions. Are teenage jockeys being protected enough? Are safety standards consistent across states? Are younger riders given enough training in risk management? In the aftermath of his death, several racetracks began reevaluating their safety protocols. Medical response times, track conditions, and jockey education programs were all placed under scrutiny. While no safety system can eliminate risk in a sport like horse racing, Juan's death served as a catalyst for a broader awareness. A memorial fund was established in his name to support young riders and their families, especially those coming from Latin America. The Juan Saiz Memorial Apprentice Jockey Award was created to honor outstanding young riders who exhibit the same talent and character Juan had shown in his short time. His brother Luis returned to racing, and in an emotional moment of catharsis, won several races soon after, often looking skyward as he crossed the finish line. In interviews, Luis has spoken of how he now rides for both of them. "Every time I win, I feel him there," he said. Juan Saiz's name is still spoken in racing circles, not as a footnote, but as a symbol, a reminder of youth, talent, promise, and the brutal reality that even in moments of glory, tragedy can strike without warning. The story of Juan Saiz is one of brilliance interrupted. It is a narrative that calls attention not only to the wonder of youthful talent, but also to the precarious nature of life at the edge of speed and danger. Saez did more in 17 years than most do in a lifetime. He crossed oceans, chased his dreams, and proved himself in one of the toughest sports on earth. Yet, the way he left this world underscores the fragility of that very pursuit. His death wasn't merely the loss of a talented jockey. It was the shattering of a future that had seemed so vivid, so inevitable. For racing fans, his name evokes a melancholy blend of pride and sorrow, an enduring what might have been. In every young jockey who mounts a horse for the first time, in every fearless charge down the final stretch, Juan Saiz rides again. He is there in the wind, in the roar of hooves, in the quiet confidence of apprentices who dare to dream as he did. He may have ridden for only one racing season, but Juan Saiz's legacy is eternal, not in trophies or earnings, but in the hearts of those who saw him ride, believed in his future, and now carry his memory forward with reverence, hope, and an unshakable awareness of the cost of greatness. We have come to the end of the video. Hit the like button, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.